Joy, good evening. Your kid is 4 years old now, so they should be getting ready for preschool to start here pretty soon. Good evening, Ellie. That's right, and the entrance party for it will be happening next week, actually. Honestly, I never thought the time would come for my little baby to have to grow up and start getting ready for something like school. And to think me, of all people, would get to experience having a child of my own and watching them grow. Well, we are all in our mid-40s now, right? Back when all of us heard about how you had just gotten pregnant with your first child at the age of 40, we were all shocked. But it's great that after 5 years have gone by, everything's turned out all right with your kid, and there were no problems at all for either of you. Well, thank you for mentioning that. I've still got plenty of years left where I'll have to be raising a child in the house, but I know that my husband and I were always dreaming of this, so no matter how old we get, we'll make sure to put all our energy into them. Oh, that's right. I found out that my niece's kid will be going to the same preschool as your daughter. Oh, is that right? Her name was Jessica, right? She's your twin sister's daughter. Yes. And this year, she just turned 20, right? Yes, that's right. So, well, she had her baby at the age of 17, I think, and ever since then I really haven't seen either her or my niece any. And I haven't even heard anything about her boyfriend. A few people in the neighborhood I live in still seem to talk with her every so often, so I get all my updates about her from them. I see. Both of her parents ended up getting divorced, but you knew that already. However, they are both married again now, so things in her life have always been all over the place. I don't think Jessica has really even had a place to truly call home, and that's why for a while before she had her baby, she was always coming over to see me. But I'm thinking that after I started to worry a little bit about her being pregnant, she started to think of me as her annoying old aunt. And that's where our relationship really dropped off. I think she's even gone and blocked my number. But at least you have people in the neighborhood who are still in touch with her. That's true. I really am fortunate to have all of them around. And once preschool gets going for my daughter, I'm sure I'll run into Jessica some, so I can tell you how she's doing. Thank you, Joy. Anyway, my bath is about ready for me, so I'm going to put my phone down now. Sounds good. I'll talk with you another time. Hey. I heard that you're 45 years old. Pardon me? I'm just 20 years old. That's very young to you, right? Who is this I'm speaking to? Just a little bit ago, you were talking with one of my cute mom friends, and the both of you exchanged phone numbers, right? Well, I went to my friend after that and got your number from her. Okay. So are you seriously 45 years old? Yes, I am. Did you come with your kid's kid today because they weren't able to bring them to the party or something? No, actually, that kid happens to be my daughter. What? So that must mean at the age of 41, you gave birth to her? Giving birth to a baby at 41 years old? That would mean you gave birth while you were the same age my mom is now. The fact that a little girl has to grow up having an old hag as her actual mother is so sad. Poor thing. Considering you are way too old to understand what any of us younger moms are talking about, you are not allowed to become friends with any of us. Excuse me, but you are going on and on a little bit too much for my taste. How about you tell me your name first, before getting so caught up in what you have to talk about? Huh? Let's not talk about me becoming friends with you or not right now. First, I want to know about who I'm talking with and what exactly you're talking about regarding me being an old hag. If that's how you're going to talk about me, then I probably wouldn't even want to be friends with you all anyway. So, can we start by having you tell me your name and laying off that horribly rude attitude? Wow, such an annoying old hag. I might be annoying, but the fact that you're not giving me your name is pretty uncool of you. What? My name is Jessica. What? Jessica? Yes, and do you have a problem with that? For some reason, you're acting exactly like my old and stupid aunt, and that's really starting to grind my gears now. I'll make you pay for acting up like that around me. That's what you frickin' get. I came up right behind you without a single person noticing and kicked you square in the ass. I bet that frickin' destroyed your lower back. And watching you fall down after losing your footing was so wild. Oh my god. The fact that your little daughter came running to you screaming and crying, "Mama," was the cherry on top that I needed. Oh, how hilarious things have become. Oh, and another thing. I'm not very keen on you becoming a part of my friend group, but you are more than welcome to become my punching bag. Actually, that sounds like a great plan, all right? From here on out, I'm going to have myself an old hag as my stress reliever. Anytime I see you, I'll be coming your way with a punch or kick, so be ready for that. See you later, Grandma. Joy! Oh, hi, Ellie. I heard that you really hurt your lower back. Are you going to be all right? I'll be fine. I just pulled it a little is all, so there shouldn't be any lasting issues. I wanted to make sure things weren't broken there, though, so I went into the urgent care just to have it looked at. They had me transferred to the hospital because over time it became more and more stiff and I couldn't really walk anymore, so I'll be here for a few days. But don't worry, because by then I should be as good as new. Well, I'm happy to hear that things weren't all too bad for you. But having to be admitted to the hospital, all because of what Jessica did to you? Oh, I am so very sorry for her behavior. You don't have to apologize for anything. You weren't there, so what could you have done to change this outcome? I know, but she is my niece, and that means I take partial responsibility for her actions. Honestly, from what I'd heard about her these past few years, she hasn't been all that crazy. There have been a few times here and there where she's had outbursts, but for the most part, she's been working hard at being a young mom. But I should have never taken what everyone around me was saying about her for granted. So before things get any worse with her behavior, I'm going to do what I should as her aunt and put the fear of God into her. I understand you wanting to really punish her for what she's done, but it seems that my husband is going to handle things regarding what happened, so maybe take a second to calm down first. All right? I'll be fine. I don't want you or your husband to get involved in any more of this. You make sure to focus on having your back heal up and tell your husband to take care of your daughter. Please. I'll stop by tomorrow afternoon to see you as well for a little bit. All right, I'll let my husband know. And thank you. Just don't get too carried away with her, okay? I'll try not to. Also, when the time comes that I need to talk with Jessica at all, can I please borrow your phone to do so? What? I guess you can if you'd like to use it. Excuse me? What should I say? The person that came to get your daughter today was a man. Was that your husband? If that's the case, then that man is way too good looking for such an old and wrinkled granny like yourself. I know that women are pretty much useless after turning 40, but when it comes to men in their 40s, they are just getting started. I might have to take him from you now. Just what I expected from you, Jessica. Huh? This is the end of the road for you. What? Who is this? Saying things like that to a person who doesn't even know you is a bit too aggressive, don't you think? I'm sorry for butting in on all the fun you were having there. I am your aunt that you've been avoiding for the past couple of years. Your Aunt Ellie? What? Huh? Aunt Ellie? What's going on here? Did you know that I've been best friends with the beholder of this phone number ever since high school? Her name happens to be Joy, and she is, in fact, a joy. What? I knew that you both were around the same age, but you're best friends? Are you kidding me right now? Right now, Joy is sitting right next to me watching all of this unfold on her phone. She was the one that allowed me to borrow her phone from her in order to have a word with you. Because you've had my phone number blocked for how long now? 4 years? Okay. Aunt Ellie, I went and unblocked your phone number. Now what? All right, thank you. I would like you to stop acting all vague right now, though. What was all of this about? Because I'm telling you right now that I don't want anything else to do with you or Joy now. Well, unfortunately, there's still plenty of things you and I have to talk about. So don't think you can get out of things that easily. Huh? Joy ended up having to go to the hospital. She had to go to the hospital? And she's been admitted into it. What? Because of you kicking her from behind, you went and hurt her lower back pretty badly. Luckily, she'll only be in the hospital for a few days as she has her pain managed and some therapy done to help the muscles. But it's going to cost her some money being there for a few days, and that will most likely not be cheap for her. So you are going to have to pay her a settlement for both those medical bills and for her time. Huh? I have to pay her? Well, of course. It's your fault she had to go to the hospital for this. You should be able to put together the pieces of this simple puzzle easily, Jessica. I don't have the money to pay for all of that, though. This isn't going to be something you can just get away with doing, do you understand? But I don't have any money. Well, I'm sure you don't. So don't be surprised that from here on out you will most likely be left for the streets. Huh? What are you going on about? Considering you only bothered to care about Joy's husband's looks today, you probably have no idea who he really is and what he does. All I know is that he's really good looking for being in his 40s and most likely has money. Jesus Christ. Then how about we catch you up to speed on what's going to be happening? What are you talking about, Aunt Ellie? Jessica, right now you're a single mother, right? Huh? How? The reason you were divorced was because you cheated on your husband. He ended up forcing you to pay him a settlement for what you'd done to him, and now you're paying that off little by little. You were then able to find yourself a small job within a small company and are now working as an office lady there. Right? Yes, but... And the CEO of that company you were just hired by not too long ago, he happens to be the exact same man you were just calling hot. Joy's husband. Huh? Now you're all up to speed, right? Not only did you have no clue what the owner of the company you worked for looked like, but you also went and sent his wife to the hospital. No way. This is a very small world, isn't it? How could something like this actually happen? Well, it's actually happened, so you should know the answer now. Right now, the CEO is here with me. He's with you right now? So far, we've all agreed not to get the police involved because of the fact that you still have a very young child with you, and because you are still having to pay off another settlement. But within the company, you have been up to a lot of bad things, such as threatening other employees who don't do as you tell them, and also slacking off and leaving work early to go enjoy yourself. For the past year, I haven't heard anything really good about you from those that work with you and from those that know you as a friend. And now you've gone and assaulted the wife of your CEO while at a preschool with a bunch of kids around. None of that you've been up to is acceptable, and you will be punished for it. Tomorrow you will be spoken to in person about all that's to come. But just be aware that you have not been with that company for very long, and so the HR team has every reason to get rid of you for whatever reason they need to. So you will be getting 1 month before your fate is decided. What? No! You're lying to me right now, right? Why? I can't be let go from the company this early. I already had to drop out of high school after becoming pregnant, and then I had a baby and had to deal with the divorce. Finding a job was so tough for me, and so when I finally got one, I was really thinking that things would work out for me. Things were really starting to feel good to me. Then shouldn't you have started to take things more seriously, like the way you worked and the way you dealt with other adults? The fact that your reason for sending your CEO's wife to the hospital was because you didn't like how old she was and the way she talked. That kind of a reason isn't going to slide in this world. And saying things like, "I don't know," will not help your case at all. Of course, even had she not been your CEO's wife, things would still end up the same way for you. Now, considering that you don't seem to have any idea how to behave like an adult, and are expected to be the caretaker of your own child, we've all decided you need to be put under watch. So the whole family has decided that you will come to live with me now. What? Luckily, at my house, you will have people like your fairly strict uncle and your very strict aunt, as well as both of your cousins who are now becoming adults themselves to deal with. No! We are going to make sure that you get your act together and that you are held very responsible for everything you've done thus far. No way! After all of that, a few days passed before I got my settlement from Jessica that paid for all my medical expenses and the time she took away from me. She was fired from the company she was at sooner than expected by my husband, as he couldn't forgive what she had done to me. But luckily, she had a very well put-together aunt watching over her, so she was able to help find her a new job pretty quickly. And with how things are back in her aunt's home, she really has no freedom there, and if anything, her baby is getting more freedom than her. After about half a year had gone by, I went over there to see Ellie and everyone, and that's when I got to meet with Jessica again. I was a bit nervous at first, but I was shocked to see she had started growing into an adult, as the first thing she said to me was sorry before asking me how I've been doing. It seems that for the past 6 months, things like having to work all the time and not having any time at home to mess around, Jessica was forced to pull herself together. And so we can all now say that she's settled down a lot and is less abrasive to be around. I'm hoping that the next time I see her, she's even more calm and we can talk a little about what happened back when she kicked me down. A lot of things had happened with her at such a young age, so I really don't want to hold too much of that against her if I don't have to. And since both our kids are the same age, I think that as long as things go smoothly in the future, we can become close and friendly mothers with one another. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.